Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How you feeling?
I feel good, thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me. It's been
Yeah,
awesome. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Yaminah Legohn with Legohn TV. I'm here at House of Ghetto Stiletto, and I got the queen sitting right here next to me. She's an artist, choreographer, performer, and she's one of the choreographers, the dance and pole choreographers on P Valley. She's also the pole consultant and the body double for Mercedes and the stunt double. Look, before I even get into, let's talk to the queen. What's good, Ezama Lo'i? What's up, girl?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How you feeling?
I feel good, thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me. It's been awesome.
For sure.
It's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. You know, I've known this girl for some while. She's been hitting that stage and worked with everybody and their mama, and she's out here letting y'all heifers know how to get down. So how long you been doing this with your career? Dancing, pole, everything. How long you been doing this?
Okay, so I started dancing at 13. I'll say technically it was 12, but the years before that, I could not dance at all. Don't know where it came from, just came from nowhere. My mom always says, and my dad says, that it comes from like when they used to win at the, hole in the wall parties, the dance contest. I'm like, really? So that's where it came from? Okay, cool, got it. But, so that's when I started. And then I kind of just jumped straight in. I got one of those like you got discovered type stories. So at age 14, I ended up getting my first job, which was in a circus.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. So that was my first job experiences in a circus.
Cool.
And so yeah, I think either shortly before that or shortly after that, I ended up getting signed to a dance agency. And then I've been in the entertainment industry ever since then. So that would be approximately going on almost 18 years now.
Oh, OG status,
Yeah.
And I know it hasn't been an easy and glitz and glam. People think this commercial and film world and dance world is glitz and glam. But before we get into that, what does Ezama mean? Like, that is such a powerful and authentic name full of culture. So let us know, what does Ezama mean, girl?
So Ezama means to be amazed, to do the unexpected with simplicity and ease.
I heard that. Do you feel like you living it up to your name?
It's surprisingly, I think so, because it's a representation of positive and negative, like the balance of the two. So I could do something that's the unexpected, like damn, I wasn't expecting her to do that, but at the same time, that's Ezama where I could do whoa, oh my god, So both perspectives in one. But yeah, I think I do. I feel like I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I definitely think you doing that, girl, all the way up. So you said you started working in the circus. Like, what was that like? What kind of work were you doing?
So at the time I was not flexible. I was not doing aerial work. So I was actually one of the dancers in the circus. And so it was a lot of us that ended up doing it. A lot of people you guys know, if you know dancers like that, like Christian Owens, and you have like Sean Bankhead, like it's JB. If you know any of the, we were all in the circus together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we were like all grew up together. We were all homeschooled together. You know what I mean? So yeah, so we was just being little ratchet kids together.
Okay. I heard that.
Living our best life and dancing in the circus, yeah.
And where are you originally from?
I'm originally from, depends on what from means, but I was born in Mississippi. Okay. My dad is Samoan. My mom is from Mississippi, so I'm a Mississippian Samoan.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So yeah, but I would say that I grew up between Georgia and Hawaii for sure.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So how has that been, having two different major cultures in your background? Like, being able to apply that to your, who you are as an artist, as a person. What are your pronouns?
She, her.
Okay, she, her. So
girl,
as a
woman,
girl,
vagina.
as a young girl becoming a woman, how were you able to apply your having your cultural background to your dance and just living in this industry?
Well, I wouldn't say that I automatically applied my culture to it. Okay. Because like I said, I couldn't dance. Like the girls was doing the, the popping and stuff, and I couldn't do any of that stuff at all. But it kind of came from nowhere. So my first style of dance, my first dance mentor, she's like full blown Jamaican. So like that's where I learned how to do a lot of dance hall stuff. And so the fluidity of my my waist and my like, you know, my hips and stuff like that, like it came so natural to like wine because of me being Polynesian and stuff. So I just was like out here just, you know,
island gal,
getting it.
Island gal. And Polynesian dance is not easy. I've trained in Polynesian dance, and it's hard.
Yeah, it is.
I've done the masculine move and the female moves, and it's like it's a lot of work. Like it looks effortless, but it's really not. It's like
giving cardio.
It's giving cardio, and it's giving like a lot of core work, and you know, all of that being with the islands, and then being connected to your core and your chakras and all of that is definitely important. And as long as I've known you, I've always loved that you just wore your natural hair. Like, how has that been as a woman of color wearing your natural hair in this Hollywood world? Because you know it's been tainted over the years. So how have you been able to just be you?
Well, I will say just the same way they have like a whole bunch of plus size dancers and stuff like that, or how like it's like a thing for everybody to have a, you know, a big butt and all this. That was not a thing before, and neither was, in my opinion, neither was wearing your natural hair like that unless you had a certain texture. Right? And so if you had a certain texture of hair according to what they wanted, you know, that's what you would do. Like even how my hair is now, like it's giving partially bomb curls right now. I mean, because I shook them all the way out, but even so, like it with my hair being like in this section right here, like this here, this would have been like, oh, let's take a wand curler and like let's do it like that. Even though I know I could just, you know, get some water, some mousse, whatever, comb through it, let it dry, and it's gonna do the same thing. But the heat damage was crazy, you know. Because they just kept doing it so much, and to the point where natural girls end up having to wear like natural looking extensions to like give you the look you want without terrorizing my hair.
Isn't that crazy? The irony of it all. You know, now that natural hair is like a popping thing, I just want young girls out there to know, like, don't just be caught up in the trend. Like, love your hair, be proud of your hair. And I know seeing you coming up in the game, you always was popping with your natural hair, and I always loved that. And I know, like you said, there's different textures of hair, but just being a woman of color and being comfortable with your hair, that shows other girls and also sets the bar. Like, this is what it is. And then having the right hairdressers that know how to do our hair.
Oh my goodness.
They get it better now, but coming up,
man, it was tough. It was very much giving. I can say like majority of the jobs that I've booked, most of the time I do my own hair. Like I could probably name on two hands, which I know that seems like a lot, but it's been 18 years, that's a small amount. But I can name on two hands like the number of jobs where somebody like did my hair for real. You know what I mean? I mean, even down to braiding it up underneath the wig. Like I'd be like, look, I'm gonna do it before I get there because you're not about to rip my hair out. Or over pin it, or like you got me looking crazy when I gotta leave after set is wrapped and I'm tired. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. I totally get it. Yeah, I totally get it. But you know, we got to do what we got to do in this industry to keep it popping, right?
Of course.
So since you've been in the game for 18 years, who is one of your favorite artists, I say, that you've worked with so far?
Man.
Or artists? I know you don't want to leave somebody behind, so I'll give you a couple.
It's hard to say who my favorite artist is that I've worked with, because it's more so like the experiences that I've gotten working on jobs. Like most people wouldn't know that like my favorite job was when I danced backup for Heavy D.
Oh wow.
Never would have expected that, right? It's like, you know, but that was my favorite because I always wanted to be a fly girl. And then I remember when they had auditions for fly girls. I'm pretty sure you remember when that was. When they had auditions for fly girls, and I had the whole like original type of outfit that she would have worn in. I mean, like when I tell you original, it was called body gloves. And they had like the fly little zipper outfits, all that. So I had the original stuff on, and just like it just was not giving. And I was like, this is not what my dream was. But I mean, I ended up booking that job, which was really amazing. And that was like the last performance he did before he passed away too. So that was my favorite dance job. Like absolutely. I wouldn't include it as like a pole thing because as far as like a dance job, I'm separating them as far as that goes. But yeah, that would be my favorite dance job. My favorite it's hard to pick like a TV like commercial type thing. It would have to be between P Valley and American Soul.
Okay.
And I say American Soul because like most people, you know, if they'll see me perform and I'm doing something P Valley inspired, it's giving club style stuff, whatever. But I actually be really giving fluid auntie to the old school music, and I love it. So when I was working on that show, you know, they gave me the name Earlene, and it's so funny about it because my mom's middle name is Dean and my favorite uncle's name is Earl. So Earlene put together. So it was amazing, just being able to be in that bag and like, you know, singing all the words. Probably the only person who knows all the songs that they was playing, you know, as far as the Soul Train stuff. So that would be that. Of course, P Valley, for a lot of reasons, because of, I mean, the challenging parts of it, really. Because when I look back at it, like, you know, a lot of us was going through a lot of emotions when it came to the show, being like super tired, working like crazy hours and stuff. But as far as like what I was able to provide for the show, and really being able to use my gifts in a lot of different ways, because of course having to perform, having to teach, having to train, having to do choreography, having to do I mean, it could have been all types of stuff, like I said, the rigging stuff, making sure that stuff was like, you know, installed properly and stuff.
Rigging is so important.
Oof,
oh
Lord,
my God,
yeah, absolutely. So
people think it's like with the rigging part, but people be like, if you're an aerialist, they're like, oh, can you just fly in the air? It's like, okay, but I need to see your setup first. You know what I mean? I got to make sure that everything is safe before I send artists up there. You know what I mean? And I'm not an aerialist, but I have aerialists in my company, so I've learned a lot just working with them, like just safety, and that is a major thing. And the training is not easy, and you have to be consistent.
Yes, or
like,
you lose it.
Or you
absolutely,
lose it.
like, absolutely, yeah. And it's crazy because when you lose it, your body wants to do it, but like your muscles be like, sorry, don't remember anymore.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And it's very much given, like, because you don't have the definition anymore. You know, you don't have the grip strength anymore. You lose your calluses, even though people are like, oh my God, calluses.
Oh yeah, no, you need those.
Need calluses. Them, or your hands gonna be busting open. You know, it's so much to it. So yeah, absolutely.
So P Valley, you are the dance and pole choreographer. You're the pole consultant. You're the body double for Mercedes. How did this all come about? You getting on P Valley? This is awesome for you. Yeah,
it was amazing. I'm actually one of the assistant choreographers on the show. So so Jamaica Craft is actually head of choreography.
Okay.
So
Jamaica, shout out Jamaica.
Yeah, she just snatched me up when she really, you know, figured out everything that I was able to do, you know. And I remember she told me one day, she was like, I watched you for 2 years to see what you were going to do with everything, because I saw you were like learning pole and you were doing all that. And then, then she ended up hitting me up for a music video with Usher, and then it kind of just went from there. Mind you, I had already worked with her on like some other different gigs before that were like big mass gigs, where they have like a lot of different dancers. Like I think it was like Nelly, and another time was Usher, and then I'm trying to remember the other one. What was it? I think it was Carrie Hilson. Can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a while. But even with working with her then, you know, like that's a whole different aspect of just being a dancer. And then you see somebody that's really like, she's really going in with this. Like she's really like committed to this. Like this is really a thing. Because most people, if you didn't watch me, you would think I just fell off the earth for 2 years. Right. You know, and really it was like I fell off ish, but it was really I was uninspired by LA. That's what made me do it. And so it was giving Miley Cyrus twerk. It was giving every single dance that we make up is being changed into something that just loses all the sauce to it. Like, you know, you hitting the dance, it's supposed to be on the 8, you hitting it on the 3 just because you want to. You know what I mean?
You're
like,
rebelling, really.
You're rebelling against the groove. It's like really, it's a lot. But yeah, I was just really just tired of being like told what to feel versus me being able to create that to myself. And I didn't feel like I was using my body enough at all, because you know it's so many. Like the way it was almost like my musicality and my desire for movement, it completely like shifted from, oh yeah, I can challenge myself to get these steps. At that point, it was like, I got that already. Like, what is next?
What's next? You're an artist. You're a true artist, and we get bored if we're not exercising our artistry, and it's like you feel like a robot. But that's really dope that you've been working with Jamaica. Like, you know, shout out to Jamaica, because she really does pay attention to you. Like, I've been to auditions and didn't get the audition, and she would come up to me and just give me some advice. He'd be like, I think you're dope, and da-da-da-da-da. I'd be like,
she sees stuff in people.
Yeah, she really does. She's been in the game for a long time. So having somebody like that, you know, have your back and look out for you and want to see you grow, that's dope. And then you'll be able to pass that on to other young dancers that come, you know, and that you're inspiring. Because I know you are inspiring a lot of young people out here, and the ones who, you know, are older and, you know, trying to do their thing and all of that. But you're doing that with your workshop. You just had a workshop today, and tell us about your workshop that you have going on.
So I have a studio in Atlanta, and it's a private training studio. It's also a rehabilitation studio as well too. So like, if you've had any type of like injuries of any type, in general, whenever I do my workshops or whenever I'm teaching privates, whatever, a lot of the ways that I teach and a lot of the ways that I, you know, instruct stretching, things like that, it's all based on injuries that I've had, where somebody couldn't tell me how to heal from what it was that I was going through, or it's from mistakes that I've made, or things like that. And so it's basically like the Mr. Miyagi version of like learning all the pole and aerial stuff, you know, and overall artist development. So I basically, with Project Be Amazing, I'm able to take what it is that people already have and be able to like enhance it and help it to, you know, make it better and things like that, or to be able to make it into what they may feel that they should look like, or you know, feel like they actually look how in their heads they look, if that makes any sense. Because a lot of times we think that we look a certain way, and then we go back and look at that footage, and it'd be like, oh, what's it giving? But no, so I've been doing a workshop series that's been P-Valley inspired, because it was so much stuff that was on the show that a lot of people can benefit from, that are polars, like of different apparatuses that we've used, different ways that we've gone about doing things that, you know, people might be familiar with, but they may not do like certain entrances that way. But these things come from working on TV and being able to understand exactly how certain stuff is shot. So when I'm choreographing stuff, or I'm showing people this stuff in these workshops, you know, it's based off of that like TV eye for stuff, whether it be film or whether it be like, you know, commercials or TV shows, stuff like that. So there's like 3 different ones that I've been doing recently. One of them is called In the Club. That's like all pole based, even though it could be non-pole too, because I've taught like a heels version of it as well too. But it's basically all the pole, not pole, but all the club isms, and the different moves that you would see in the club, but how to properly execute them so that you can really do them super strong, and then be able to kind of add them to whatever else it is that you have going on. So then we have Sex on the Floor. Sex on the Floor is like a whole entire like floor work series, right? So that one is like all the different flexibility moves that you would end up seeing in the club. It could be stuff that you already have going on already. It could have been stuff that people have seen me do. And it's just working on different transitions, different ways to be able to go about executing like different floor work tricks and stuff like that. So there's that. And then I have the Sensual Seduction one. That one's all heels. So a lot of people in general need to know how to walk in heels, or they need, and not even just heels, there's different kind of heels and different kind of walks you gotta do in different kind of heels. So in general, with the versatility of that by itself, it's different ways you gotta stand in your heels when you're doing certain dance moves. There's certain kind of heels moves that are in all like heels choreography and stuff, you know? And there's just a way about being able to carry yourself in heels without touching an apparatus, that's so powerful. And so with that specific class, that really workshop, that one really helps people, especially polers who don't really dance like that without touching the pole, you know. It really helps them to be able to create like a presence when they're away from the pole, and being able to feel confident even just from walking one pole to another, because people will do floor work all the way to a whole nother pole, and can't necessarily, not even can't walk, but they don't command the stage as soon as they let go of that pole. People are already expecting them to go to the other one, because they're like, all right, well, you know, watching it go across, right? Yeah, so it's definitely something that I developed based on artist development that I have been doing over the past 18 years. And whether it be a girl group and they got to learn how to perform as a group, you know, if you work on P Valley, you know, you got doubles tricks, you got all this other stuff, then you got the doubles tricks, but this girl has really fluid type of movement, and this other girl has really hard hitting movement, so you got to cater to, like, as if you had like a Scary Spice and a Baby Spice, you know what I mean? So
got you.
It's the same kind of concept. So it's overall artist development in all the areas of how we created the show, basically. And so pretty much that's what it is.
And you're building athletes.
Yes.
Because, you know, a lot of times, you know, from me coming up just as a dancer, we watch music videos and just learn off the music videos. Or, you know, I'll be in ballet class or West African class or whatever. But what we see on the music videos, be like, oh, I'm just going to try to do that at home. And what happens? You end up injuring yourself. And then the injuries stay with you forever if you're not getting the proper therapy, if you're not rolling out and doing what you're supposed to do. And then it affects your career in the long run. And ridiculously. And it is not even just a physical thing, it's a mind, it's a spiritual thing, it's internal. So it's good to hear that you are working with artists internally so they can be able to exert the confidence, they could be able to feel good about themselves, because that is what is important, is feeling good about yourself. And then for you, I know you have your own confidence, so a lot of students will be like, how can I be like you? But you're teaching them how to be the best them.
And that's where Project Be Amazing came from, because Ezama is amazed backwards. So, and people, because all my students were like, I want to be just like you, I want to be just like you. And so I was like, I don't want you to be me, I want you to be yourself. So that's where Project Be Amazing came from.
Project Be Amazing. You heard that. Project Be Amazing. Y'all ready to be amazing? Okay. You're going to get with Ezama so y'all can get amazing. So back to P Valley, which one has been your favorite episode so far? I mean, I love it. I watch the show. I think it's dope, and I look at the pole and I look at the acting and the dancing, all that is dope. But I've seen some episodes where I was like, whoa, okay.
Whoa, okay.
Y'all
for a lot of stuff.
Y'all taking it to the next level all the time. So, like, which one would I will say this. What has been the biggest challenge for you doing the show? And then what has been your favorite episode?
Okay, so the episode. So I look at them differently, because I was given the script every single time we had to work on an episode. So for me, I've experienced the episodes in a sushi bar, at a regular bar, at like a Mexican restaurant, you know what I mean? So for me, even though I haven't seen it, the episode that just came out, actually, I think episode 7. Episode 7, reading it was my favorite. Absolutely my favorite, reading it. But watching it so far, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to see which one was my favorite. I'm gonna be biased. I really love the Mercedes experience, not because it's just me in it, but because of all the shit I went through on working on that specific episode, between episode 3 and 4. It was so much stuff that I went through during that time. And so if you look in the script, you know, you'll see that Mercedes hurt herself because she shot Montez, right? I think that's his name, Montez.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
I'd be forgetting. Yeah, I think it's Montez. Is it Montez? I think it's Montez. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, so she shot him, of course, in season 1. And so long story short, if you remember I think it's episode 3. That's when she hurt herself.
When she fell?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So when she fell and all of that, and so, and not even that she hurt herself, but realized that she was like messed up for real.
And she did Reiki too.
Yeah,
that was pretty dope.
So basically, when that happened, she had to start doing all her moves on her left side. Just so happens, I ended up spraining my ankle on my right side.
Oh, okay.
So because I was really hurt, I really did have to switch to the other side.
Oh, wow.
For real.
So you really
I really did. Yeah, I really had to
Okay.
for real. And so they wanted it to look authentic, and you know what I mean, it's going to be authentic as it can be. Yeah, so I would say like that. So I wasn't putting any weight on it. And if you watch the episode, we're barefoot.
Okay.
Because I couldn't wear the heels. And then on top of that, Brandy had hurt her back too.
Oh, wow.
You know, so she was injured as hell as well, you know. So it was crazy how that ended up happening and how we were both injured like that. But I know for myself personally, yeah, that ankle situation, the pits, because not only did that happen, but I still had to teach everybody what they needed to do.
Oh, man.
So you see, I had to be a double, but then I still had to come in and do choreography.
That's a lot of pressure.
And then even so, like, if me and Mercedes, me and Brandy are doubling, you know, once I'm done doing my part, I gotta help her.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I gotta snap straight out you know, of being in that space, or it's like, oh, something happened with the pole. Hey, Ezama, can you come up here and check the pole?
Okay.
Snaps into
Before
that.
you can even like get up, like have
I still got the wig on.
Right.
I still got and the dots on my face.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm like, all right, and you know, just jump straight in, you know.
Right.
And then luckily some days, depending on how hard I worked, you know, I was able to go home because, you know, clearly the scene was all about shooting us, meaning me and Brandy, you know.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, but it would definitely be for me, I think, episode 3. Is it 3? It has to be 3. No, because I fell. Did I fall in 2? I can't remember. I was like, it was all falling together. But anyway, you know the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think those would definitely be my favorite. That would be my favorite. And like I said, the one that we gonna watch tonight, we're gonna do a nice little watch party with all our friends.
Right.
It's gonna be nice to actually see it, because it's funny, because I've already been looking on social media.
Okay.
And certain lines that had me like in the restaurant, like,
Yeah.
what? You know what I mean? People are putting it on Instagram. And Twitter and all that stuff, and it's shocking to them too. And I'm like, girl, I was shocked too when I was eating my miso soup. Okay,
Right.
Hella shocked. So that would be that. And then the other question you said was the challenge.
Your biggest challenge.
Oh shit! I mean, okay. I'll say this: my biggest challenge would have to have been me getting out of my own way, right? And I say that because like, with this pole stuff and this aerial stuff, like all this stuff, I'm really smart. Like, I'm crazy smart. I'm like that one person that'll be like, all you gotta do is do like this, and they're like, I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and so it's like I had to really like not tame that person, but learn a different way of communicating with people so that I can get what it is that I need to feel safe, and so that the other people can get what they need to be safe, right?
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure a lot of people think I'm like a bitch in life, because I be like literally. I remember one episode. I was sitting there while they was filming it and getting everything together, and I think it was when Roulette and Whisper had the competition.
Okay, yeah,
right. And so I remember, and I was just sitting at the table like this, and I was talking to Jamaica, and I looked over, and I did like this, and I was looking at the pole, and I was like, that pole's crooked. And then she was like, how do you know? I was like, it's crooked. She was like, no, it's not. I said, it's crooked. I'm telling you, it's crooked. And I was like, from the looks of it, you can't screw it back up. You can't screw it more to the top, so it's going to just have to stay crooked. Like,
oh, wow.
But it's crooked. And then she was like, I said, watch. I said, hold on. And I went and got a leveler, you know, the little leveler with the little liquidies inside.
Right.
So, like, I got one, and one of the guys from set decorations and stuff, he came over and he was like, oh, I'll do it. Like, I'll just go up to it. I said, yeah, if you just put it right there on the side. He was like, oh, yeah, it is uneven. But, like, you know, being that smart like that, like, it pisses people off if they're like, that's their job to set it.
All right, so you were just discussing your biggest challenge of working on P Valley. So, let's do a recap on that.
So my biggest challenge would be me getting in my own way and me learning how to get out of my own way, right? Learning how to better communicate with people what I need, because like I said, I'm really smart when it comes to all this pole and aerial stuff. And like, I can tell that a pole isn't installed properly just from looking at it, depending on the angle of it. And you can go test it with all your little stuff, but it's going to come out and it's crooked. You know what I'm saying? But, I know that the way that certain pole athletes can speak to other people and when they really know what they're talking about, it could come off like, Poindexter like a-hole, and I know for me, like, I don't intend to come off like a bitch. So for me, if I learn a different way of communicating, I don't think that that's going to hinder me. That's only going to add versatility to my communication, to where I can communicate with all different types of people in all walks of life that have nothing to do with pole, and be able to communicate to them what it is that I need, and getting over the fact, this is another thing too, getting over the fact that people don't understand what I'm talking about. Because, for example, like, Ezama, you're going to have to jump up there. You can describe it all day long and step with your left foot and you're this and you're that and you just get up there. Go, just get up there. So I could be fully clothed and all of a sudden, where's Ezama? Up there in her drawers, all of a sudden, having to show them a specific something, because especially if they're trying to do something that might be really dangerous, I can show them in a way, because for me, I don't do nothing where I can't save myself. If I can't save myself out of it, and I don't know multiple ways, just in case my finger slips, my armpit gets sweaty, whatever the case may be, I'm not doing it. So when I see, something isn't right, I automatically say something, and part of getting out of my own way sometimes is saying nothing at all too, so that you can build that that
trust, and that it's just all a part of being a leader. That's really what it is. You're a leader, and a lot of times as leaders, when we see something, we're gonna communicate it like in a matter of fact or assertive, because it's a serious situation. And I respect people like that, and I think it's always good to have people like that on your team, because the people like that on your team are going to look out for you at all angles. You know what I mean? Other people who just oblivious and be like, let's hurry up and do it. Everything will fall out of place and be like, oh, it wasn't me, or I'm sorry. And then as producers, as choreographers, as directors, we ain't got time for sorry that could have been prevented. You know what I mean? So you're helping prevent certain things from happening. But I think it's very smart for you to be like, I'm just going to be mindful of how I communicate this, so so everybody can comprehend it and not get their feelings hurt. Because everybody's...
Or you don't lose your job.
Or you lose your job or something like that. You know what I mean? Right?
Okay, that's the key.
That's the other part. And then, also just being a powerful Black Samoan woman, you know what I mean? People have different perspectives, you know what I mean? So sometimes, unfortunately, we have to think about those things.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that is a big, big thing I've noticed. Because even when you have like a certain level of confidence and you just walking around here, they're like, who is she? I'm like, hey, you know what I mean? But I know how it can come off for sure. So it's always good to have better communication and different ways to communicate. And patience and
know your face. Know your face.
That right there. I hate COVID, but thank you, COVID.
Right?
Because I swear to God, thank you for the mask, boy. It's the mask. You only know if you know my eyes, then you know what I'm talking about. But I could give you the driest face ever, and you'll never know.
And you'll never know. You just see eyes in a mask, and you just like, okay. But you're doing your thing, girl, and keep doing your thing, because you are really setting the bar high. And what is your goal now with your career moving forward? I know you're on P Valley. You're going to continue doing your thing with that, and you're going to continue pushing your project, Be Amazing. So what do you see yourself doing in the future with what you have put together up so far?
Well, I want to continue to do workshops and stuff, because surprisingly, when I was in backup dance land, I like did no workshops. And you know, when you book something, you know, back then you could be like, I'm in the video, and they like, I seen you, girl, I'm coming. You know, so it's a different aspect now in this world, because like I said, you know, people who are polars, you know, they could feel like, oh, I already pole, there's nothing I can learn from you, you know, when really it's so much, because and I always tell people all the time, you know, what the thing that helps me out on P Valley and sets me apart is not because I can do all these moves and I'm super trained. Yeah, I'm all those things, but it's my brain. Like, I know a lot of stuff when it comes to this TV and film stuff, you know, and I know because I've been the lead video girl in mad videos, and like I've worked with a lot of different artists and stuff, you know, and on a lot of different sets since I was a kid, you know. So it's like me understanding what needs to be looked for, what the actual picture is they're trying to get, you know, stuff like that, or even having an idea of what I want to see, if they care about what my opinion is, or they're asking me for my opinion more so at the time. I have an idea of what that is now. So I would say for sure continuously expanding my brain and the things that I know, and being able to get it out there to a point where a lot of people know what that is. Definitely getting to the TV and film industry as far as the acting aspects and things like that. Definitely that, because I have like an extreme love for like humor and for comedy and stuff like that. Improv for sure, totally love it.
Oh yeah, they need to give you a role, your own role on P Valley. Okay,
I would love it.
She need a role. Okay, y'all need to give her a role. It's her time. It's her time to shine. It's her time to shine.
I would love it. That would be dope.
My last question, I meant to ask you this earlier. What got you into pole? What inspired you to get into that world?
Man, so first it would have to be my athleticism as a kid, right? Like I always tell people, I used to climb trees as a kid. I would fall asleep in the trees. I used to rock climb. I used to do all that stuff. So having that, I played all the sports. I was the one girl that hung out with all the guys. I was that girl. So coming from that, then going into dance, which is where I learned my femininity, your body, and stuff like that. Going into that, from that, it was almost like learn your body, learning all the stuff you could do, and then it's like, now what are you gonna do now? Because I was just bored with it. So it was a mixture of being bored with what I was doing, on top of a mixture of not feeling like I was using my body enough. So I remember when I first got signed, I was at a dance studio. And they used to hold pole classes there, and I remember seeing like, and I was too young to go in the pole classes, so I would try to like sneak in, and right after they warm up, I would always get kicked out. It was the funniest thing, but when I went for rehearsals and stuff, I would just see these women, and they go in there and they come back out, and they got their little shorts on and stuff, and I was like, what are they doing? But it was wild to me how women was real deal, like going from walking around to like being upside down and doing all this stuff, and I just thought it was so cool. So you know, when I had ended up moving from LA randomly, I literally left my entire apartment here. I gave everything that was in it to my friends, left it. And so you know, after that, I ended up learning pole and aerial from there, because I was actually able to sit and do it, because I decided to, you know, I tried to be like a pedestrian, like, I'm not gonna be an artist anymore. I quit so many times, and it's stupid. You come back, you know what I mean? I tried, I really did, and then I ended up you know, learning, and now
you're on P Valley, you know what I mean?
So it really came from having a hunger for it, and really wanting to like really extend my body, because for me, like, when I lived in LA the whole time, I did not have nobody splits. Go to them Brian Freeman auditions, he'd be like, fan chick. I'd be like, passe.
He used to tear us up in those with his candles and stuff that he used to have in our pictures.
Oh my God. But I would fake it till I make it all the time. And that's the one thing I would say that inspires me most about doing pole and aerials, because you cannot fake it.
You can't fake it.
You cannot fake it. There's no way you could fake anything. That's the reason why I could be so confident about what I do, because the reason why I'm confident is not because I feel like, oh, I got the best tricks ever. It's like, no, I can do my tricks when I need to do them.
Right.
It's a lot of people that be posting old videos on Instagram and be like, yeah, those are my tricks I can still do. And really, you got a shoulder injury. Really, you haven't done that in forever. Right. You know. And so for me, it's the consistency of me being able to, like I said, build my brain. Because a lot of the times when I choreograph stuff, I do it in my head. Right. Like literally, I'll lay out on the ground and like sit there and like listen to the music, and I'll be like, oh man, I should do this, and I'll just hop up and start. Right. And I'll be like, do you get what I mean? And they're like, oh, okay, that's what you mean. Okay, got it. So, you know, just expanding those two things as much as I possibly can. I'm trying to think what else. Continuously building business in general. Lots of different ways of, like, you know, passive income and stuff like that. So I ain't got to...
Right. So, yes.
You know what I'm
saying?
Have
to bust your ass.
I'm trying to tell you.
You know, you got to create multiple streams of income. You know, you got to get your trademark. You got to get your business and all that stuff. So you have your, you know, your multiple streams of income. And so you can be able to do other things like get grants, or if you decide to go the nonprofit way, or you get a fiscal sponsor if you're an LLC. You know, that's a whole nother conversation. But it's good that you're pushing your brand and you're building your business, and I'm super, super proud of you. I love watching P Valley. I can't wait till you get your character. But, you know, in the meantime, girl, just keep striving forward. You know, keep pushing forward, keep inspiring these young girls and these older women. You know, you're inspiring girls and boys. You know, you're inspiring all of us, men and women. So, and being beautiful and sexy at the same time, you know what I mean? And let your melanin pop, you know, keep the melanin popping. So let them know where they can find you.
You guys can find me on Instagram, Ezama the Movement Artist. Now, if I spell that, it's going to be pretty long, but I will spell the first part. So it's Z as in zebra, A as in apple, M as in Mary, A as in apple, the Movement Artist. And then my teaching page is Project Be Amazing with _ Ezama. All my names is long, right? And then also I have another page which is Waist Beads by Ezama as well too. So that's a really amazing business that I guess I'll talk about for another day, but you can check it out.
The waist beads, you know, special. I love waist beads. You know, I'm not Yoruba, but I have definitely dealt with Oshun and Yaminah. That's another conversation. But anyways. Thank you so much for coming through. You're awesome. Keep pushing your brand. Keep being lovely. And we love having you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. All right, y'all. I'm Yaminah Lejean. We're here at Legohn TV. And we'll see you again soon. Ciao.